Hello, everyone. We are back. It's time for You're Such a Ranker, the show where Ann and I rank stuff. And today, because we are in Las Vegas, we are turning our attention to Shoptalk. We're going to rank our personal 5 best recommendations for our OmniTalk fans to get the most out of Shoptalk. Ann, are you ready?
Oh, I'm definitely ready. This is ranking things or giving Vegas tips now. You know, I realized that I've been here and will be here every single month of this year so far. It's February right now.
Oh, my God.
I was here in January. I am here in February. I will be here in March. You will be here for Shop Talk too.
That's right.
Let's just keep this train going.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Wow, that's pretty impressive. So I think you are an aficionado. I think you are officially an expert.
I've developed some tools.
I can't think of anyone better qualified to rank the things to do to get the most out of Shop Talk then, Ann.
Yes.
All right, so here's how this is going to work. In reverse order, 5 up to 1. What is your number 5 recommendation for getting the most out of Shop Talk, Ann?
Well, my number 5 is getting a DoorDash subscription.
Oh.
This is actually my number 1 thing for coming to Vegas, period. But I think that if you are coming to Shop Talk, get your DoorDash, do the trial, whatever it has to be, but you absolutely need a DoorDash subscription for the following. Water bottles, got to stay hydrated here.
Oh, my God, in Vegas, 100%.
Yes. Access to food that doesn't cost you $300 per person.
Yep.
And is sourced from local food purveyors here. Like there's this Thai restaurant that I just love that I get. It's every time I'm here I order from that same Thai restaurant. And all in it's like $20. Where are you going to do that on the Strip?
Do you recommend the Dash Pass as well?
Yes.
Or just a subscription?
Whatever you know, I personally recommend the Dash Pass for a multitude of reasons, but I would say any subscription, just try it out while you're in Vegas and you will not regret it.
Yeah, actually, that's a good call because maybe you can put your DoorDash subscription on your corporate card too as part of a travel expense.
It would still be less expensive than going to dinner.
Yeah, it is. It's probably
downstairs.
a good benefit for your company. All right, and my number 5 is similar to yours. It's funny how aligned we are to start out. Mine is you have to make sure you have a good plan for breakfast. Yes. You know, Shoptalk, there's a couple options. You can go to Shoptalk. Shoptalk does a great breakfast.
Yep.
But if that's not your thing, there's only so many options in the hotel. They're not open either. So our advice is always find the vendor partner or something that's doing a private event for breakfast, because breakfast is the way to go if you want to get a good meal to start your day. Absolutely. You really have 2 options. You have the Shoptalk breakfast and kind of a vendor or solutions provider private event too, because otherwise the pickings are slim. You're eating laminated pastries at Starbucks. That's your best option.
Yes, or sometimes runny eggs, and you never know what's in runny eggs, Chris.
No, yes, right. Yeah, right. Yes, Anne's alluding to the fact that I once got food poisoning at one of these shows in Vegas as well. All right, Anne, number 4.
Number 4 is to prepare your schedule and to have backups. So we always kind of go through the list of our, who's speaking, who do we want to see, and then I think it's important, and Shoptalk does a good job of making it really easy. If you're in a session and maybe it's not the topics that you wanted to cover, or it's, something different, you can go quickly across the room. So have your backup plan ready and have the app downloaded so that you're ready to go.
That's interesting. See, I kind of like the don't have a plan aspect of it, to just go in the moment and get the frenetic energy going and have excuses for, just bouncing around. But you're the plan person, huh?
I feel like it's good to have an idea so that you don't have to think about it once you get there. It's a good plane trip activity on the way to Vegas.
Yeah, it is. All right, so my number 4 is actually forgo Starbucks for the week. Just let it go for the entire week. You've got 3 Starbucks options in the Mandalay Bay Casino. Yeah, as we're drinking, because we have the time right now in Vegas. But there's 3 options. You've got the one right outside the convention center. Yep. You've got the one in the walkway, and then you've got the one in the Mandalay Bay, Delano, kind of
the shops at Mandalay
point.
Bay.
Yeah, right outside the shops at Mandalay Bay. But the lines are horrible. They're terribly long. You can't get through them. And the great thing about Shoptalk too, they always have coffee.
Yes.
And the coffee is really tasty, if I might add, I think. And so like you're never in want of your caffeine fix. I mean, you just can't get like the caramel macchiato or whatever that you're probably addicted to, the sugary sweet coffee. But the coffee is there. It's readily available. It's my actually favorite part of the Shoptalk experience. I think they do the coffee better than anybody.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a ringing endorsement, Chris. I'm actually it's funny that that's your 3 because mine was actually, yes, do Starbucks, but don't make the rookie move of either waiting in line for an hour at the arena entrance or the Shark Reef right outside the convention center food hall entrance. The best move is to order ahead at the shops at Mandalay Bay, because that's right between Mandalay Bay and the Delano. They do a really good job with their order pickup. Yes, you might wait a little bit longer, like 8 to 10 minutes, but like order it right before you're about to go downstairs to the conference, and it'll be right there, hot and ready. You cannot order it from the arena or from the Shark Reef because there's just a cup graveyard sitting there. Hours. I think I waited an hour one time.
Yeah, it's like NRF,
it's a disaster.
Busy
it's
is
a
what you're talking.
disaster.
Okay, so that's your number 3. Just to clarify, your number 3 recommendation to get the most out of Shoptalk is to order ahead at the Starbucks that's outside the shops at Mandalay Bay.
That is my number 3.
Okay.
Yes. And there's you need refuel once you get to the conference, but some of us need that jolt before
you
we
need your
the
Starbucks
doors.
every morning. Yeah, I can go without it. I just need coffee. But all right, my number 3, and this one I think is really big, is I think everyone attending Shoptalk needs to mark their calendar, because at 2:35 p.m. on Tuesday, March 25th, Gap's CEO Richard Dixon is taking the main keynote stage. And to your point, I haven't planned everything, but I've marked my calendar for that, because I can't wait to hear what Mr. Dixon says, because he definitely looks the part, but I'm still skeptical of his turnaround strategy. I don't really understand it. I'm hoping he can outline it for me so I can get a better sense of what it is, because I'm still a little curious. I'm not buying or drinking the Gap Kool-Aid from Mr. Dixon at this point, that
There's a lot of people
he's been
that are.
swirling up and
he's
shaking
got big
around.
Shoes to fill.
I know. I'm sure that's on your must-watch list too,
yeah,
right?
For sure. I mean, I really like all the keynotes, like for nothing else, just to get to see these people in real life and get a sense of who they are and just how, like, the kind of people that they are, because we read about them in the headlines all the time. But I think Shoptalk does a really good job of finding these people, bringing them on stage, and letting us hear directly from them. Even though a lot of times PR teams are involved, but you still get to see, just I like to meet people and judge by their like character and how they interact with people and their body language and stuff. So to me, it's more about getting the full experience than it really is about just hearing what they're saying to the press in the headlines.
That's a great point. Or how tech forward someone seems when they're talking on stage. It's
for sure.
There's a lot you can tell from people.
For sure. And their outfits. I love their outfits.
Their outfits, yes. All right, Ann, what's your number 2 recommendation for getting the most out of Shoptalk?
My number 2, I'm realizing I don't have a lot about the sessions in here.
Oh.
It's really about the environment in and around.
Well, that's why we're
session.
a team, man, because
yes.
I do.
Okay, because mine is to make sure that you do a lap at the beach party. Because I think that even if you just go down there and you just, walk around a couple times and check it out, one, obviously, I love music, so it doesn't matter. Like whoever's performing live, it's amazing. You get good stories to go home with.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
But I think the best part of it is that you get everybody who's at the conference in a little bit more laid back environment. So instead of rushing the stage after a presentation is happening and, trying to get that 5 minutes with somebody, I think this is like a much more casual place to just be like, hey, nice to meet you. What do you think of the band? Like the setting is just so much more relaxed that I think I've had some really great conversations with people at that beach party. So I think it's somewhere to go.
Yeah, I think that's a good recommendation. I mean, that's a good recommendation because Shoptalk's also about networking, right?
Yes.
And so that is a good place because, the show's like it's through its second day at that point, right? If I'm not mistaken. And it's kind of the loads off and you can just kind of meet people that you haven't had a chance to connect with. The other thing I like about that beach party too, Ed, we get to see all of our competition and we get to see who's friendly and who's not as well, which I always love because there is definitely some competition in our industry. And all right, my number 2.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 is I would attend every AI session that you can. And the reason I say that is like, Ann, you're actually interviewing Wayfair's CTO on Tuesday morning. So OmniTalk fans, you should check that out. Of course, there's the startup pitch competition as well, and a session that I'm particularly interested in Wednesday morning. It's called Generative AI and the Next Generation of Search, which is a topic that I've been thinking a lot about as of late, because no doubt, Ann, as you know, this will not surprise you or anyone else, especially anyone on the Shoptalk team, because when this conference is over, I'm going to be asking myself, is AI overhyped, underhyped, or properly hyped by the retail executives in attendance at Shoptalk? Because last year, I felt like it was underhyped, like people were poo-pooing it. And I was a little concerned about that. And I'm curious if the pendulum has swung in a different direction or if people are still part and parcel skeptical of generative AI and its impact on the retail industry. So that's my number 2.
Okay. Well, I think that's good advice. There's going to be a lot of those sessions.
Yeah, there are.
I feel like there may not be sessions without AI mentioned in them, but at least in the title, and especially the search one, I think that's a really good one. We've been talking about that on the show for a long time.
It's funny. I actually went through the agenda, and it was funny. There weren't as many as I expected, believe it or not. But I think to your point, there will be many companies on the exhibit hall floor with AI in their name, though, for sure. So, all right, Ann, without further ado, what is your I'm curious to see if yours is the same as mine. What is your number 1 recommendation for getting the most out of Shoptalk 2025?
Number 1 is a little self-serving, but come to the takeaway session with Chris and myself and some members of the Shoptalk team. Ben Miller for sure will be on stage, and then the other members of the team that will be joining us are yet to be determined, but it's always a great mix of people. It is the best thing, I think, that summarizes all the takeaways, especially if you're reporting back to teams at work and you aren't sending multiple people to the show. It's the best way to kind of congeal all the thoughts. And I love it because I think you get some behind the scenes mentions too from the Shoptalk team about like how they were thinking about setting up that session or what ended up happening, because they are working so hard behind the scenes to like make sure that, they can move all the levers to really provide like amazing content for those 3 days. And so I think you get some sense too of like what ended up happening and what they were planning on happening. And it's great insight and really kind of sums up the whole conference because you can't go to all the sessions.
Yeah, no, 100%. My number 1 is exactly the same as yours, Ann. Exactly the same. It is the key takeaway session. Yeah, and we're live podcasting from the stage. So to Ann's point, for all you fans out there, or even if you're not a fan and you just want to recap what happened at Shoptalk for your teams back in the office, my advice would be listen to the podcast as soon as it releases, which usually release it within 24 hours after it happening, after we record it live on stage.
Right.
And then put the transcript through ChatGPT and say, summarize this for me, and send it out to your teams. Like, hey, here's what you missed at Shoptalk.
Yep.
It's a great, like you said, it's a great way to congeal everything that's happened at the show for the past 3 days, and you get a real insight into the personalities too of everyone that has been involved in putting it on. And we love doing it too. I think it's probably our 4th or 5th time now that we've done this with the Shoptalk team as well. So
you might have to edit out Chris's dad jokes in the ChatGPT transcript that gets exported. So just a heads up for that. Just don't copy and paste. Never copy and paste.
Actually, I get a little salty in that too. I should get edited for my bluntness, if anything, and more so than my dad jokes. All right. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, it was a good episode.
And I don't think our fans will be upset by me saying this at all. But I think you're such a ranker, Ann.
Right back at you.
Right back at me. I'm definitely a ranker. All right. We hope you are headed to Shoptalk and that you found our episode a little helpful today. And as always, if you have any other thoughts that you want to leave as we put this content out on social media, or any other recommendations for anyone in attendance at Shoptalk this year, please don't hesitate to share it on social media. Let us know. What do we forget? And until next time, Ann.
Be careful out there.